This call is now being recorded.
Okay. So in the today's lecture, we will discuss about the some of the important sections for which we have to calculate the bending stresses. In the last lecture, we have derived the derivation for the bending stress formula, or that formula is also called as a Fletcher's formula or the flexural formula. And that formula is m upon I is equal to sigma upon y is equal to E upon R. So this particular formula is called as a bending stress formula. But in that, whenever we have to go for the calculation of moment of inertia, which is indicated by the capital I, or if we have to locate the CG distance, so at that time, the calculation of I and the calculation of Y bar, these two calculations are very important. And for that purpose, in the last lecture, we have discussed about the some of the common sections. If the rectangle section will be given, then how the I will be calculated, that is BD cube by divided by 12. And if I have to locate their CG distance, the vertical distance divided by 2, that means D divided by 2. If the square is given, again BD cube divided by 12. But in case of a square, either we can consider capital B is equal to capital D. So you will get the formula either B raised to 4 divided by 12 or D raised to 4 divided by 12. Similarly, we have discussed the formula for the hollow rectangular section, then formula for the hollow square section, and then we have discussed about the moment of inertia and Y bar for the circular section. That circular section may be solid in section or it may be the hollow in section, and we are having the formula pi by 64 d raised to 4. It is applicable for the solid because for the solid section only one diameter is given. Okay, and then for hollow section pi by 64 capital DO raised to 4 minus DI raised to 4. DO means outside diameter, DI means inside diameter. So according to that particular sections, we have to use the respective formula of the moment of inertia and we have to calculate their Y bar distances. In addition to that, again some another three important sections are there. Now this is called as a, whatever the figure is in front of you, this section is called as a I section. Also it is called as a symmetrical I section. If I have to calculate the bending stress for this particular symmetrical I section, then how their Y bar distance will be calculated and how their moment of inertia will be calculated. Similar to this, we are having the second figure, that is unsymmetrical I section. What is the difference between this figure and this figure? So this is the symmetrical I section. If I will consider this is the horizontal neutral axis. This is the horizontal neutral axis. So in this particular neutral axis, the section present above the neutral axis, the section present above the neutral axis and the section present below the neutral axis are same. If you go through this particular figure, one center line is there which is called as a neutral axis. Above neutral axis, the section is same. Below neutral axis, section is same. So this is the section number 1. This is 2. This is 3. If I will join like this. So in this particular I section, it consists of a 3 rectangles. This is the section number 1, that is horizontal rectangle is there. Then section number 2, vertical rectangle is there. Section number 3, again horizontal rectangle is there. So this particular top portion, it is called as a upper flange. So what is this horizontal rectangle is there? It is called as a upper flange. The bottom, it is called as a lower flange. And whatever this vertical rectangle is there, this is called as a web. So if the I section is given to you, in that particular I section, it consists of a total 3 rectangles. Out of that, 2 are horizontal, that is section number 1 and section number 3. These are the horizontal rectangle. So the lower one rectangle is called as a lower flange because it is provided at the bottom side. The third section, which is called as the upper flange because it is provided at the top side. And whatever this vertical rectangle is there, that is section number 2. That section or that vertical rectangle is called as a web. So if you think about this particular section, above the neutral axis, the section is same. Below the neutral axis, again the section is same. Therefore, we can say that this section is symmetrical about the x axis. This section is symmetrical about the x axis because above x axis, the section is same. Below x-axis, again the section is same. Therefore, this is called as a symmetrical I section because the dimensions given for the section number 1 and the section number 3 are same. The dimensions given for the section number 1, let us see here. So this is the capital B. Let us assume that this is the capital B. Similarly, for the upper flange, again this is capital B. Okay, so total vertical distance from top flange to the bottom flange, this is capital D. What is capital B? The total horizontal distance of the I section. What is capital D? Total vertical distance of the I section. Then whatever the wave is given, this wave is having distance as a small b. Okay, so whatever the vertical rectangle is given, that vertical rectangle is having the horizontal distance as a small b, and this vertical distance, which is called as a small d. Assume the basic difference between capital B, capital D, small b and small d. Capital B means total horizontal distance of the I section, which is given at the top side and the bottom side. Okay, then capital D presents the total vertical distance from the top of the I section to the bottom of the I section. That distance is represented by the capital D. Then what is small b? So whatever the second section is given, which is called as a wave, whatever the second section is given, that is vertical rectangle, which is called as a wave, the horizontal distance of that particular wave is indicated by the small b. Okay, and the vertical distance of that particular second section, I am saying about only second section, that is vertical rectangle, it is having the vertical distance as a small d. So these are the different types of the dimensions which are given to this particular symmetrical I section. Why it is called as a symmetrical? Because the dimensions of the section number 1 and the dimensions of the section number 3, that means the two horizontal rectangles are there. The dimensions of the rectangle number 1 and the rectangle number 3 are same. Therefore, this particular section is called as a symmetrical I section. But if you think about the second figure, this is called as unsymmetrical. Why? Because you can see here, this is the upper flange. At the top, this is the upper flange, and the bottom, this is called as a lower flange. But if you think about its dimension, the dimensions of the upper flange are more than the dimensions of the lower flange. Therefore, if I will think about its neutral axis, again this is neutral axis at the center. Okay, but this particular section is not symmetrical above the neutral axis and the below the neutral axis. So this is the x axis. Above neutral axis the dimensions are different, below neutral axis the dimensions are different, because here at the top the flange is having the length 150 mm, but at the bottom side whatever the flange is given, its dimension is 75 mm. Therefore, this particular figure is not symmetrical about the x axis. But if you think about this particular first figure, in which above neutral axis the section is same, below neutral axis the section is same, therefore this particular section is called as a symmetrical I section. Now for this particular section, if I have to calculate the moment of inertia and the y bar, so first of all, if I have to calculate the y bar distance, let us see. Y bar is equal to, for the symmetrical section we can calculate the y bar by using the two important formulas. But as this particular section is symmetrical about the horizontal axis, if I have to calculate the y bar means total vertical distance divided by 2. So what is the total vertical distance of this particular I section from the figure? What is the total vertical distance?
D.
Capital D.
Capital D. Capital D
is the total vertical distance. Therefore, directly I can say that for the symmetrical I section, the y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. Directly I can write down the formula. That is, y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. If the capital D is given 300 mm, for example, capital D is equal to 300 divided by 2 means 150 mm. This is the y bar. Y bar means the position of neutral axis from the bottom side. So this is the one line. At the bottom I have given one line. That line I will call it as a reference line. Let us assume that this is the reference line. So this 150 mm distance is to be represented from this particular reference line. That means this 150 mm represents the position of CG. Position of CG of this particular whole I section, or it represents the position of neutral axis. So here, as this is the symmetrical section, the 150 mm from the top side, position of neutral axis. Similarly, 150 mm from the bottom side. 150 mm from the top side and 150 mm from the bottom side. So this above neutral axis 150 mm, below neutral axis 150 mm. This is same. Why? Because this is the symmetrical I section. If this is the unsymmetrical I section, if you think about the second figure, in this particular section, above neutral axis and below neutral axis, the dimensions are same. Sorry, dimensions are different. But in case of a I section, above neutral axis, dimension is 150 mm, below neutral axis, dimension is 150 mm. Why? Because this is the symmetrical I section. Therefore, if the symmetrical I section will be given to you, at that time their y bar can be directly calculated. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. That means one distance we have calculated, which is called as a CG distance of I section, or that y bar distance represents the position of neutral axis from the bottom side. Position of neutral axis from the bottom side or from this particular reference line. Now, if I have to calculate the I is called as a moment of inertia. I is called as a moment of inertia. How that I is to be calculated for the symmetrical I section? Let us see. Capital BD cube divided by 12 minus, let us see, capital B means the total horizontal distance of the I section, which is represented on the figure. Total horizontal distance of the I section, capital B. Capital D means total vertical distance. BD cube by 12. म्हणजे काय घेतलाय मी ह्या पूर्ण I section चा एक रेक्टँगल आहे असं कन्सिडर केलंय, आणि BD cube by 12 मायनस capital B minus small b into d cube divided by 12. How it is to be obtained? बघा, मी जर ह्या दोन लाईन जर जॉईन केल्या तर मला एक रेक्टँगल मिळतोय. आय सेक्शनच्या जर दोन ह्या व्हर्टिकल लाईन जर मी जॉईन केल्या, डॉटेड लाईन बघा, तर हा कॅपिटल बी मीन्स टोटल हॉरिझॉन्टल डिस्टन्स ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर आय सेक्शन. कॅपिटल डी मीन्स टोटल व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स. ओके. कॅपिटल बीडी क्यूब बाय 12 म्हणजे हा पूर्ण रेक्टँगलचा बीडी क्यूब बाय 12, बीडी क्यूब बाय 12 हा झाला ऍप्लिकेबल फॉर द टोटल आय सेक्शन, मायनस कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी. बघा, ह्या कॅपिटल बी मधून जर मी हे स्मॉल बी जर सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केलं, ह्या कॅपिटल बी मधून मी जर हे स्मॉल बी सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केलं तर मला कुठली लेंथ मिळते? बघा, this distance, whatever I have represented on the figure, let us see, capital B minus small b or capital B minus small b. म्हणजे ह्या कॅपिटल बी मधून जर मी स्मॉल बी डिस्टन्स सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केलं तर मला ह्या व्हर्टिकल रेक्टँगलचा लेफ्ट साइडचा डिस्टन्स मिळते, तसंच राईट साइडचा पण डिस्टन्स मिळते. इंटू डी क्यूब. इंटू डी क्यूब म्हणजे बघा कुठं आहे डी क्यूब? डी क्यूब रिप्रेझेंट्स द व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स ऑफ दी सेक्शन नंबर 2 ओनली. वर्टिकल डिस्टन्स ऑफ दी सेक्शन नंबर 2 ओनली डिवायडेड बाय 12. म्हणजे काय केले मी ह्या टोटल रेक्टँगल मधून, बघा काय केले, from this particular total rectangle I have subtracted this particular two rectangles. Getting? टोटल रेक्टँगल मधून जर मी हे लेफ्ट साइडचा एक स्मॉल रेक्टँगल आणि हा राईट साइडचा एक स्मॉल रेक्टँगल जर मी सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केला तर बरोबर मला त्या आय सेक्शनचा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया काय होतोय? फाइंड होतोय. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, लेट अस सी, this is the I section, symmetrical I section. I am thinking about the symmetrical I section. हे जर दोन लाईन मी जॉईन केल्या तर हा कॅपिटल बी झाला, दिस इज कॅपिटल डी झाला, ह्या व्हर्टिकल ह्याचा कॅपिटल स्मॉल बी अँड व्हर्टिकल रेक्टँगलचं व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स स्मॉल डी. जर ह्या टोटल रेक्टँगल मधून म्हणजे कॅपिटल बी आणि कॅपिटल डी ह्या टोटल रेक्टँगल मधून जर मी हे दोन रेक्टँगल सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केले, टू रेक्टँगल मीन्स व्हॉट एव्हर इंडिकेटेड बाय द हॅचिंग लाईन. या टोटल रेक्टँगल मधून जर मी हे दोन स्मॉल रेक्टँगल नंबर 1 अँड दिस इज द रेक्टँगल नंबर 2 जर मी सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केले तर मला कुठल्या सेक्शनचा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया मिळतोय? बरोबर हा आय सेक्शनचा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया मिळतोय. त्यामुळे व्हॉट फॉर्म्युला आय हॅव डिराइव्ड? कॅपिटल बी, दिस इज द कॅपिटल बी मीन्स हॉरिझॉन्टल डिस्टन्स, कॅपिटल डी मीन्स व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स म्हणजे टोटल रेक्टँगल झाला डिवाइड बाय 2 मायनस कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी, कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी. जर ह्या मी व्हर्टिकल रेक्टँगलचा जर मी हा स्मॉल बी जर सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केला तर मला कुठला डिस्टन्स मिळते बघा? हा लेफ्ट साइडचा जो काय रेक्टँगल आहे त्यालाच म्हणतो आपण कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी, किंवा राईट साइडचा जो काय रेक्टँगल आहे त्यालाच म्हणतोय आपण कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी. म्हणजे त्याचं हॉरिझॉन्टल डिस्टन्स मिळालं. त्याच रेक्टँगलचं हॅचिंग लाईन जे काय रेक्टँगल मी दाखवलेलं आहे त्याचं हॉरिझॉन्टल डिस्टन्स आलं कॅपिटल बी मायनस स्मॉल बी. त्याचं व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स काय असणार आहे? ऑलरेडी इट इज रिप्रेझेंटेड स्मॉल डी आणि त्याचा क्यूब. देअरफॉर इन द फॉर्म्युला आय हॅव रिटन capital BD cube by 12 minus capital B minus small b into d cube divided by 12, and this formula will be directly applicable to find out the moment of inertia for the symmetrical I section. मोठ्या रेक्टँगल मधून हे जर दोन स्मॉल रेक्टँगल जर मी सबस्ट्रॅक्ट केले तर बरोबर मला आय सेक्शनचा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया काय होतोय? फाइंड आउट. Therefore I can use this particular formula directly for the calculation of moment of inertia for the symmetrical I section. But if you think about this particular unsymmetrical I section, y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. This formula will not be applicable for the unsymmetrical I section because this is not symmetrical above the neutral axis and the below the neutral axis. So for the unsymmetrical I section, we have to use the different formula. Y bar is equal to how many sections are there in the I section? Section number 1, horizontal rectangle, section number 2, and the section number 3. So if I have to calculate the Y bar, so I am having the formula that is A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 plus A3 Y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. So this is the formula which I have to use for the unsymmetrical section. For symmetrical section, direct formula is available. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. But this formula will not be applicable for the unsymmetrical I section. जर section symmetrical असेल तरच आपण y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2 असं घेऊ शकतो. जर section unsymmetrical असेल तर we have to use this second formula. Y bar is equal to A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 plus A3 Y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. Why 3 sections are there? Because if I will divide this particular I section in the number of sections, so the horizontal rectangle section number 1, vertical rectangle section number 2, and again at the top one horizontal rectangle section number 3. So I have to calculate A1 of section number 1, A2 of section number 2, and A3 of section number 3. 3 sections are there. Therefore, I have taken A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 plus A3 Y3. But area we can calculate very easily because here 75 mm horizontal distance is given. Thickness of this particular wave 15 mm. Thickness of this particular wave also 15 mm. And let us assume that whatever this particular vertical small d is there, this is 100 mm. For the first section, I can calculate the area A1 75 into 15. For the second section, area is 100 into 15. For third section, area is 150 into 15. I can calculate the cross-sectional area A1, A2, A3 separately, no problem. But how to calculate the Y1, Y2, Y3? Let us see. Again, I will draw the reference line. This horizontal line from the bottom side, I will consider it as a reference line. So Y1 represents CG of section 1 from reference line. Y2 represents CG of section 2 from again reference line, and Y3 represents CG of section 3 from reference line. Now please tell me, now here all the dimensions are with you. See, Y1 means CG of section number 1. ह्या रेफरन्स लाईन पासून ह्या सेक्शन 1 चा सीजी म्हणजे कुठं असणार आहे? बरोबर सेंटरला असणार आहे. तर काय डिस्टन्स येणार सांगा मला?
15/2.
Yes, Y1 is equal to
15/2.
15/2. Getting? Everyone have got? Y1 is equal to CG of the section number 1 from the reference line. Reference line म्हणजे कुठली? बॉटम लाईन. Y1 is equal to 15 divided by 2. What is the Y2? What is the Y2? What is the vertical distance of Y2 or
100.
section number 2? 100. Correct? What is the vertical distance of section 2?
50.
Vertical distance
100.
100. ओके, मग त्याचा सीजी कुठं कॉन्सन्ट्रेट होणार आहे? बरोबर त्याच्या सेंटरला. देन व्हॉट वी हॅव टू डू? Yes, what we have to do? What distance I have to take?
100/2 plus 15.
100/2.
100 by 2 plus
7.7.
plus
15.
plus 15. This is very important. हे जर 15 जर डिस्टन्स आपण ऍड केलंच नाही तर तुमचा सीजी हा ह्या अप्पर फ्लॅनच्या वरच्या बाजूपासून आपल्याला कन्सिडर करावा लागतो. बट ऑलवेज सीजी डिस्टन्स विल बी टेकन फ्रॉम दी बॉटम साइड ओनली. म्हणजे हे 15 mm आहे असं घ्याच, प्लस 100 डिवाइड बाय 2. देन व्हॉट विल बी युअर Y3 डिस्टन्स? नाउ प्लीज टेल मी. फ्रॉम द बॉटम साइड टेक ऑल द डिस्टन्स. एक 15 mm तुम्हाला आहे असं घ्यावं लागणार, प्लस
100
plus 100 plus
15/2.
15/2. Correct. That means whatever the CG we are calculating for each and every section, that CG should be calculated from the bottom reference line. So whenever we are calculating the CG for the section number 2 and section number 3, their bottom distances also we have to consider. So like that, we have to calculate A1 Y1, A2 Y2, A3 Y3, and if we'll add all this particular, or if we'll put all this particular value in this particular Y bar equation, you will get the Y bar distance from this particular reference line. म्हणजे हा झाला तुमचा काय? Y bar, which is to be calculated by using this particular A1 Y1, A2 Y2, A3 Y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. That means for unsymmetrical section, Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. This formula is not applicable. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. It is applicable only for the symmetrical section. If your section is unsymmetrical, we have to use A1 Y1, A2 Y2 plus A3 Y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. This is the Y bar calculation. Now, if I have to calculate the moment of inertia, for the previous symmetrical I section, I am having the direct formula capital BD cube by divided by 12 minus capital B minus small b into D cube divided by 12. This formula is applicable for the symmetrical section only. But if this is the unsymmetrical section, for the unsymmetrical section, this formula, this direct formula will not be applicable. जसं सिमेट्रिकल सेक्शन मध्ये वाय बार आणि आय याच्यासाठी स्टँडर्ड फॉर्म्युला आहेत, पण वाय बारचा फॉर्म्युला अनसिमेट्रिकल मध्ये ऍप्लिकेबल होत नाही, कुठला डी डिवाइड बाय 2. तसंच हा आयचा फॉर्म्युला, सिमेट्रिकल सेक्शनचा आयचा फॉर्म्युला, इट इज नॉट ऍप्लिकेबल फॉर दी अनसिमेट्रिकल सेक्शन. सो ऍट दॅट टाइम व्हॉट वी हॅव टू डू? वी हॅव टू कॅल्क्युलेट आय फॉर दी सेक्शन नंबर 1, I for the section number 2, and I for the section number 3, and at the end we have to make the addition. How it is to be calculated? Let us see. So unsymmetrical section is there. Therefore, if I have to calculate total Ixx, so Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3. By using this formula, I have to calculate the total moment of inertia for unsymmetrical section. We have to use this formula for the unsymmetrical section. Then how Ixx1 will be calculated? Ixx1 is equal to capital BD cube by 12 of that section only. Capital BD cube by 12 plus A1 in bracket y bar minus y1 bracket square. Ixx2 means again capital BD cube by 12 plus A2 in bracket y bar minus y2 bracket square. Ixx3 means capital BD cube by 12 plus A3 y bar minus y3 bracket square. So if you think about Ixx1, this formula is applicable for the section number 1. For the section number 1, we are having their capital B, we are having their capital D divided by 2. For section number 1, we can calculate the area A1. Y bar means which is calculated from this particular big formula. A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. ह्याच्यापासून जे काय आपल्याला y bar मिळतोय, that y bar directly put here. Y1 distance already we have calculated. You will get the Ixx1. Similarly, Ixx2 BD cube by 12 म्हणजे section 2 चा B आणि section 2 चा D. BD cube by 12. Again A2 distance, y bar distance, it will be constant for all the three. Y2 distance we can calculate. You will get the Ixx2. Ixx3, again for the third section, we are having its capital B, we are having its capital D. A3, it is to be calculated. Y bar, it is constant. Y3, already we have calculated. You will get the Ixx3. And after that, I have to make the addition of Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3. And total Ixx is equal to your capital I. Because with horizontal axis, we have taken the section as a symmetrical. Therefore, your capital Ixx is equal to I is equal to your moment of inertia. So this is the basic difference between symmetrical I section and the unsymmetrical I section. Please take the difference. For the symmetrical I section, y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. Take this particular formula in your notebook. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. Okay. If I am using this y bar formula for the symmetrical I section, then you will get the answer same. Symmetrical I section साठी पण आपण y bar is equal to A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 हा जरी फॉर्म्युला यूज केला किंवा y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2 हा जरी फॉर्म्युला यूज केला तर दोन्ही पासून तुमचे आन्सर काय येणार आहेत, सेम येणार आहेत. पण ह्या y bar च्या फॉर्म्युलासाठी आपल्याला हे A1 y1 A2 y2 हे सगळे डिस्टन्स फाइंड आउट करावे लागतील. बट फॉर सिमेट्रिकल सेक्शन need not require to go for the detailed calculation. Directly D divided by 2, you will get the answer. Then this is the formula for the I. But for the unsymmetrical section, the formulas are different. Y bar is equal to A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. This is for the unsymmetrical section. And for unsymmetrical section, if I have to calculate the capital I, that is your Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3. How to calculate Ixx1? Formula is given. BD cube by 12. बघा स्ट्रक्चर सेम आहे. BD cube by 12 plus A1 in bracket y bar minus y1 bracket चा स्क्वेअर. परत Ixx2 साठी पण स्ट्रक्चर सेम आहे. BD cube by 12. Instead of A1, I have taken A2. Y bar is as it is. Instead of Y1, I have taken Y2. For third section, BD cube by 12, again structure is same. Instead of A1 and A2, I have taken A3 because I am calculating Ixx for the third section. Therefore, A3. Again, Y bar is same. Instead of Y1, Y2, I have taken Y3 because I am calculating for the third section. Then calculate Ixx1, Ixx2, Ixx3 separately. Make their additions. Then you will get the capital I, which is called as a moment of inertia. So this is the basic difference between symmetrical I section and the unsymmetrical I section for the calculation of Y bar and the moment of inertia. So this is about the truth important concept, which is very important. If you understood this particular difference between symmetrical I section and the unsymmetrical I section, you can solve the problems based on this particular I section and the T section related to the bending stress calculation. Have you understood the difference between I section in which unsymmetrical and symmetrical कसा फाइंड आउट करायचा आहे वाय बार आणि कसा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया फाइंड आउट करायचा आहे? Yes, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For symmetrical I section also, if I will calculate Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3, हा जरी फॉर्म्युला वापरून तुम्ही सिमेट्रिकल आय सेक्शनला जरी मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया काढला तरी पण तो ह्या फॉर्म्युला वापरून जो काय काढणार आहे तो पण काय असणार आहे, सेम असणार आहे. फक्त सिमेट्रिकल आय सेक्शन मध्ये आपण हे फॉर्म्युला काय वापरतोय तर कॅल्क्युलेशन पार्ट अनसिमेट्रिकल साठी जास्त आहे, कारण तुम्हाला Ixx1 सेपरेट काढायचा, Ixx2 सेपरेट काढायचा आहे, Ixx3 सेपरेट काढायचा आहे आणि मग त्याचे ऍडिशन करून तुम्हाला टोटल आय फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे. बट इन केस ऑफ ए सिमेट्रिकल सेक्शन द डायरेक्ट फॉर्म्युला इज अवेलेबल. Need not required to calculate y1 distance, y2 distance, y3 distance. Need not required to calculate a1, a2, a3. By using direct formula, I can calculate. Therefore, this is the basic difference between symmetrical eye and the unsymmetrical eye sections. Yes, everyone, have you understood this particular two concepts? Difference between unsymmetrical and the symmetrical eye sections.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what about others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now
Yes,
this
sir.
is for the I section. Now we'll discuss about the T section. Again, the T section is not symmetrical about the neutral axis. You can see this is the neutral axis of the T section. This is the neutral axis of the T section. So above the neutral axis, the section is not same. Below the neutral axis, section is not same, because below neutral axis, you will get only this rectangle. You can see below the neutral axis, you will get vertical rectangle, but above the neutral axis, you will get one vertical rectangle as well as you will get horizontal rectangle. That means neutral axis च्या वरच्या बाजूला पण तुम्हाला एक वर्टिकल टी सेक्शन मिळतोय, म्हणजे एक स्मॉल टी सेक्शन मिळतोय, पण न्यूट्रल एक्सिस च्या खालच्या बाजूला तुम्हाला एकच वर्टिकल रेक्टेंगल मिळतोय. मीन्स this section is not symmetrical. Therefore, here again I have to calculate y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. Why I have taken only a1 and a2? Because it consists of only two sections, that is section number 1 as a vertical section and the section number 2 as a horizontal section. I section मध्ये खालच्या बाजूला पण एक फ्लॅंज दिलेली होती, बरोबर. या खालच्या बाजूला पण एक लोअर फ्लॅंज असते. Therefore, total 3 sections are there in I section, but in case of a T section, it consists of only 2 sections. One is vertical rectangle, another is horizontal rectangle. But this particular T section is not symmetrical about the neutral axis. Therefore, I have to calculate the y bar by using the formula a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. And if I have to calculate the Ixx is equal to capital I is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2. Again, find out Ixx1 is equal to BD cube by 12 plus a1 in bracket y bar minus y1 bracket square, and Ixx2 is equal to again BD cube by 12 plus a2 in bracket y bar minus y2 bracket square, and at the end Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 is equal to your capital I is equal to mi. The structure for the T section and the unsymmetrical I section, it is same, but in unsymmetrical I section total 3 sections are present. Therefore, A3 and Y3, these are extra we have to calculate. But in case of a T section, the figure is in front of you. It consists of only 2 sections. One is a vertical rectangle and another is horizontal rectangle. Therefore, only I have to calculate A1 and A2, Y1 and Y2. Need not required to calculate A3 and Y3. Otherwise, the Y bar formula will be same. A1 y1 plus A2 y2 divided by A1 plus A2, and Ixx formula, it is also same, that is Ixx1 plus Ixx2. So these are the 3 important concepts which we have to understood before solving the problems. If you understood this particular y bar calculation and the moment of inertia calculation, the further bending stress calculation part is very, very simple. Getting about this particular T section, there is only small difference between unsymmetrical eye and the T section. In unsymmetrical eye, total 3 sections are present. कारण खालच्या बाजूला पण एक फ्लॅंज दिलेला आहे, ज्याला आपण लोअर फ्लॅंज म्हणतो. But in case of a T section, it consists of a only upper flange. These words are very important. Upper flange, and it consists of a only wave. Bottom side, at the bottom side, no any lower flange is there. Therefore, it consists of a only 2 sections. Therefore, you will get the y bar in the form of A1 y1 and A2 y2, and you will get the Ixx in the form of Ixx1 and Ixx2 only. There is no any third section. Therefore, effect of A3 and effect of Y3 will not be considered in the T section. Yes, getting the difference? What is the difference between I and the T sections?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So please take this particular all the formulas in your notebook. So I will give the next 2 minutes. Take for the symmetrical eye section, draw one rough figure. Symmetrical eye section means dimensions of upper flange and dimensions of lower flange are same. Means above neutral axis section is same, below neutral axis section is same. Their y bar can be calculated capital D divided by 2. Their I can be calculated, the formula is written here. So take this particular formula, 2 formulas immediately in your notebook. Here in this, need not required to calculate A1, Y1, A2, Y2, A3, Y3. Direct formulas are available, so directly I can take. Draw the symmetrical eye section and take this particular 2 formulas in your notebook for your further calculation part. Or you can take the screenshot of this particular figure. So it will be available in your mobiles also for your further study. Then for the symmetrical, it is over now unsymmetrical. The first formula will not be applicable. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. It will not be applicable. Therefore, take y bar is equal to A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. This is for the unsymmetrical eye section. And how to calculate y1 distances from the reference line. For first section, we can calculate very easily, but for second and third section, we have to consider the bottom dimensions also. जसं y2 काढताना आपण 15चा इफेक्ट कन्सिडर केलेला आहे आणि y3 काढताना 100 plus 15 and then 15 divided by 2. That is very important. Then take the Ixx formula. Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3 is equal to your capital I. That is capital BD cube by 12 plus A1 in bracket y bar minus y1 bracket square. For second section, only A2 I have taken instead of A1 and Y2 I have taken instead of Y1. And for third section, instead of A1 and A2, I have taken A3, and instead of Y1 and Y2, I have taken Y3. So take these particular formulas also in your notebook. Okay, then for the next T section, the formula structure of the formula is same, similar to unsymmetrical eye section. Only 2 sections are there, therefore formulas are written in the form of A1 and A2 or Y1 and Y2. Okay, so these 3 concepts or this particular 3 sections are very important because maximum times we have to solve the numericals based on this I section, unsymmetrical eye section and the T section. Yes, have you taken this particular all the important formulas? Okay, so I hope everyone has taken all the important formulas in your notebook, which will be useful for your further calculation part. Okay, now bending moment for the different types of beams and the loads, because we are having the formula, we know that M upon I, here I will write the formula. M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y is equal to E upon R. From this particular combination, maximum times we have to use first 2 combinations. M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. So here Y means your Y bar. Please keep in mind. In the formula, instead of Y bar, this Y distance is represented by the capital Y only. But maximum times, if we have to go for the bending stress calculation, we have to use the first combination only. M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. This E upon R, sometimes it is also very useful, but some of the calculation, but maximum times, these first two combinations, M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y, it is very important. So in this particular formula, I we can calculate. Just now we have discussed the I for the different sections, rectangle section, square section, circular section, and today also we have discussed the I for the unsymmetrical I section, I for the symmetrical I section, and I for the T section. Sigma, it represents the bending stress, which is our unknown parameter. Sigma we have to calculate. Y means we have discussed about the Y bar calculation. Y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2, or Y bar is equal to A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 plus A3 Y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. This Y means it is called as a Y bar. But what about this particular capital M? Capital M represents the bending moment. How to calculate that particular bending moment? So for that particular bending moment calculation, we are having the 4 standard cases. We are having the 4 standard cases, and for that 4 standard cases, we are having the 4 different formulas to calculate the bending moment directly. So case number 1, here I have written case number 1, simply supported beam with midpoint load. Simply supported beam with 1 W amount of load is applied at the center point. This is the case number 1. Standard cases I am telling. Simply supported beam with point load at the center point. If this particular standard case will be given, at that time we have to calculate the bending moment by using the formula capital M is equal to WL divided by 4. Please take this particular formula also in your notebook. This formula should be at your tip of tongue. Then and then only we can solve this particular numericals. If the simply supported beam with point load is given, then how to calculate the bending moment for this particular case number 1? Capital M is equal to W into L divided by 2. W means, for example, this load is given 10 kilonewton, means 10 into 10 raised to 3. And if the length is given 2 meter is equal to 2000 mm. Point load is given 10 kilonewton, it is converted in Newton, that is 10 into 10 raised to 3, put as a W. Length is given 2 meter, converted in mm, that is 2000, that is W into L divided by 4. This formula is applicable for the simply supported beam subjected to the point load at the center. Okay, then second case, simply supported with UDL on entire span. Figure is given. One simply supported beam is there. It is supported at point A, it is supported at point B, and from A to B, it is subjected to the UDL. Magnitude of UDL, W kilonewton per meter. Total length, capital L. If I have to calculate the bending moment for the case number 2, formula is available, WL square divided by 8. This W means whatever the magnitude of UDL is given, that we have to take. Here, don't convert UDL into point load. In SFD and BMD, whenever we have to go for the SF calculation and BM calculation, we are converting that particular UDL into point load. But here in the bending stress chapter, don't convert UDL into point load. Their W value we have to take as it is. For example, W बघा 5 kilonewton per meter असा जर दिला असेल तर तो 5 kilonewton meter as it is as a W आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, पुट करायचं आहे. जर ह्या 5 kilonewton per meter ह्याचं जर मला न्यूटन पर एमएम मध्ये जर करायचं असेल तर बघा 5 kilonewton per meter, किलोन्यूटनचं न्यूटन मध्ये 5 into 10 raised to 3, मीटरचं एमएम मध्ये 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 3 कॅन्सल होणार, राहणार काय तुमचं फक्त 5च. लेंथ फॉर एक्झाम्पल 5 मीटर दिले असेल तर 5 into 5000 divided by 8. Whatever the answer you will get, this M directly we have to use in our bending stress formula. So please take the difference between the case number 1, simply supported beam with point load, formula WL by 4. Second case, simply supported beam with UDL on entire span, formula WL square divided by 8. But here don't convert the UDL into point load, but convert that UDL from kilonewton meter to Newton mm. तिथं सगळे फोर्सेस, सगळे लोड आपल्याला काय करायचे, न्यूटन मध्ये घ्यायचे, सगळे डायमेन्शन आपल्याला एम ए मध्ये घ्यायचे. त्यामुळे फोर्स जर किलो न्यूटन मध्ये दिला असेल तर त्याला 10⁻³ ने मल्टिप्लाय करून न्यूटन मध्ये कन्वर्ट करा. एखादा डायमेन्शन जर मीटर मध्ये दिला असेल, अगेन मल्टिप्लाय बाय 10⁻³ कन्वर्ट इन एम एम. Therefore here the value of UDL is given in kilonewton per meter. Convert in Newton per mm, multiply by 10⁻³ at the top side, multiply by 10⁻³ at the bottom side, 10⁻³ cancel होईल, तेच आन्सर येईल. But it is necessary to convert. But formula for the case number 1 and case number 2, it will be different. For simply supported beam with point load, WL by 4. For simply supported beam with UDL on entire span, WL square divided by 8. Similarly, case number 3, figure indicate that cantilever beam with point load at free end. So let us see, this is the cantilever beam, this is the point A which is fixed at one side, the point B is totally free. At the free end, the W amount of load is applied. If this case number 3 is given, directly I can calculate the bending moment. Capital M is equal to W into L. So here if W is given, again 10 kilonewton and length is given 3 meter. So W means 10 into 10⁻³ into length 3000. Whatever answer we will get, that M directly we have to put in the bending stress equation. So what is the case number 3? Cantilever beam with point load at free end. If this figure is given or this case is given, directly I can calculate the M formula by using the M is equal to W into L. Then case number 4, cantilever with UDL on entire span. Again see figure number in which point A, it is the fixed point, point B is the free end, and from A to B, the beam is subjected to the UDL on entire span. Its magnitude is W kilonewton per meter. For example, here W is given 15 kilonewton per meter. म्हणजे काय होणार, 15 into 10⁻³ kilonewtonचं न्यूटन झालं पर मीटर. अगेन 10⁻³ 10⁻³ 10⁻³ कॅन्सल झालं. लेंथ फॉर एक्झाम्पल तुम्हाला 8 मीटर दिली असेल तर W म्हणजे काय झाला, न्यूटन पर एम ए मध्ये 15. लेंथ काय आहे तुमची 8000 square divided by 2. You will get EM. So again, for the case number 4, cantilever beam subjected to the UDL on entire span having formula capital M is equal to WL square divided by 2. If you compare all the 4 standard cases, these are called as the standard cases because simply supported beam with point load, simply supported beam with UDL, cantilever beam with point load, and the cantilever beam with UDL. These 4 cases are considered as a standard cases, and these 4 cases are having the direct bending moment formula. Sometimes in the statement of the numerical, bending moment will be directly given, but sometimes the bending moment will not be given. The type of beam and type of load is given. Type of beam means cantilever beam having length 3 meter subjected to the UDL on entire span of 10 kilonewton per meter. Means it is under standard case, means case number 4. So W will be given, length will be given. I have to use this particular formula and I have to calculate the bending moment. So sometimes in the statement, if the bending moment is directly given, we can take this bending moment as it is directly for your further calculation. But sometimes in the statement, the type of beam may be simply supported or cantilever. Type of beam and type of load, maybe it is subjected to the point load or it is subjected to the UDL. म्हणजे बीमचा टाइप आणि लोडचा टाइप तुम्हाला दिलेला असतो, त्याच्यानुसार तुम्ही आयडेंटिफाय करायचा की तो कुठल्या केस मध्ये बसतो. आयदर इट इज केस नंबर 1, केस नंबर 2, केस नंबर 3 or केस नंबर 4, and according to that we have to use the bending moment formula. So these are the 4 standard cases. The figure number 5 is also given, that is simply supported beam with point load, but it is not applied at the center. बघा केस नंबर 1 मध्ये पॉइंट लोड बरोबर सेंटरला आहे, पण ह्या लास्टच्या केस मध्ये पॉइंट लोड इज नॉट अप्लाइड at the center. So their distances are L1 and L2. So if the point load is not applied at the center, we are having the formula capital M is equal to W into L1 into L2 divided by capital M. W means हा पॉइंट लोड W तुम्हाला दिलेला असेल. L1 means त्याला आपण A डिस्टन्स कन्सिडर केले. L2 means त्याला आपण B डिस्टन्स कन्सिडर केले and टोटल लेंथ पण तुम्हाला दिलेला आहे. Therefore formula I have written capital M is equal to W into L1 into L2 divided by L, or capital M is equal to W into A. A means your L1 into B. B means your L2 divided by total M. So these are the 5 standard cases which will be given in the statement. In that particular statement, if the type of beam and type of load is given, first requirement is that identify the type of beam. कुठल्या प्रकारचा बीम दिलाय, त्यामुळे ह्या चॅप्टर मध्ये आपल्याला फक्त दोनच बीम असणार आहेत, एक म्हणजे सिम्पली सपोर्टेड आणि दुसरा म्हणजे कॅन्टिलिव्हर. पण त्याच्यामध्ये पण कुठल्या प्रकारचा लोड दिलाय, पॉइंट लोड दिला असेल तर त्याच्यासाठी फॉर्म्युला कुठला आहे, यूडेल दिला असेल तर त्याच्यासाठी फॉर्म्युला कुठला आहे, कॅन्टिलिव्हर दिला असेल विथ पॉइंट लोड त्यासाठी फॉर्म्युला कुठला आहे, कॅन्टिलिव्हर विथ यूडेल दिला असेल तर त्याच्यासाठी फॉर्म्युला कुठला आहे. Therefore these are the 5 standard cases which we have to keep in your mind. Simply supported beam with point load at center, WL by 4. Simply supported with UDL on enter span, WL square by 8. Simply supported with point load at free end, W into L. Simply supported with UDL on enter span, WL square divided by 2. And simply supported with point load not at the center, W into L1 into L2 divided by L. So these are the 5 standard cases and their formulas we have to keep in your mind, or you can take this particular all the 5 standard cases in your notebook. So it will be useful for your further calculation. So therefore here the bending moment as a capital M for different types of beams and loads. Here we don't have any continuous beam, overhanging beam, only we are having simply supported and cantilever, and त्याच्यामध्ये पण फक्त दोनच लोड, एक म्हणजे पॉइंट लोड आणि दुसरा म्हणजे UDL. There is no any couple, there is no any uniformly varying load, only point load and the UDLs are there. So take this particular all the formulas in your notebook. M is equal to WL by 4, M is equal to WL square by 8. कुठला फॉर्म्युला कशाला ऍप्लिकेबल आहे, इट इज ऑल्सो व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. तुम्ही जर हा फॉर्म्युला घ्यायचा जर चुकला आणि तुमचा बेंडिंग मोमेंट जर चुकला, तुमचा बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस 100% काय होणार आहे, चुकणार. Therefore take the respective formula for the respective case only and accordingly we have to do the calculation. So take the case number 1, simply supported beam with point load, WL by 4. Simply supported beam with UDL on enter span, WL square by 8. So I hope everyone is writing this particular notes in your notebook, because without this formulas it is not possible to solve the numericals. Then cantilever beam with point load, W into L. Fourth, cantilever with UDL on entire span, WL square by 2. And last, simply supported with point load but not at the center, formula W into L1 into L2 divided by capital L. I hope everyone has taken this particular all the formulas in your notebook. Sometimes M will be given, we can take as it is, but sometimes in the statement type of beam and type of load is mentioned. We have to draw the figure for that particular type of beam and type of load, and accordingly we have to calculate the bending moment. But here don't convert UDL into point load. Convert that UDL from kilonewton meter to Newton mm, and that Newton mm value we have to put in the bending moment formula. Then length also we have to convert in mm. Wherever the L square is given, L cube is given, that also we have to take, and we have to calculate the total bending moment for that particular beam. Okay. So with this, today we will stop here. In the next lecture, we will start with the numericals.